Yo. What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Yo, brothers, how y'all doing? Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Guys, how was your week, man? Who want to set it off for us first?
Yo, the week was dope. I think my week was good. You know what I mean? Just chilling out with family and whatnot, enjoying it, getting ready for this Valentine's Day weekend, and just putting in a little quality time. Not really big to say, except just enjoying my time with family and just meeting new I guess you want to say goals and whatnot in my life. So
that's what's up.
Okay.
Roddy Rod?
Yo, this tired of this cold, this tired of this snow. You know what I'm saying? I need to change the atmosphere. This COVID being in the house all the time. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting cabin fever. I don't know. But I need to get a change of atmosphere. But other than that, everything's good. I'm still blessed.
Yeah, man. Kelvin, how about you, brother? Oh, Kelvin, your mic. Is it muted?
From undisclosed locations.
I know. Maybe is the mic on this mic? How about the mic? And now on mute on computer. Well, Kelvin's figuring out.
Kelvin's figuring it out.
Yeah. So I mean, my this week has been pretty good, man. My sister just came by. She just went back to Delaware a few minutes ago, and so and then it was and I had. Last night I was telling you guys earlier, like we was behind the scenes watching a couple of good movies. I watched the Fred Hammond movie, and then I watched the hip hop joint that me and Rob was talking about. What's the name of the joint? Hip hop Uncovered, right?
Yeah, Uncovered.
Yeah,
I definitely need to check it out. That's definitely
both of them are definitely some watches. Everybody must check out. Kelvin, Kelvin got a voice yet?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there we go, my bro. All right.
That was
Calvin, we didn't think you was gonna make your check this episode.
Let me say it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want it to be like I come off negative, right? But I couldn't get to the barber I've been going to. So the last 2 weeks I've tried different barbers. And I've had a terrible experience. I've got to tell you guys about it. I went to a barbershop and I know how it works now. The person that is not cutting anybody is not cutting somebody for a reason because their chair's always open because they're the only one that does the little kids. That's what they do. The little kids can't object and their parents are in a rush. And the guy, and I explained to him what I want, even though I have a Caesar, the guy still messed it up. I'm still recovering. I got stitches over here from the way he did me and stuff like that. So I just want to appeal to our people. I don't know why we cannot cut anymore. What happened? What happened to us as a people?
Calvin, you just need to join the crew and accept it. Just go bold.
Let it go.
Let it go.
I don't have the head for that. You guys got the head for that. I don't have the head.
You can say you got the head for it.
It's right there. We see it right there.
The back is the problem. The back is the remix in the back. That's the
problem. Oh man! So listen, guys, we just saw it today on the news, man. Trump just got acquitted, man. The impeachment trials. What are your thoughts on this, man? Anybody?
Man, y'all still paying attention? You know what I'm saying?
I think that we should be paying attention because I always feel us as Black people, we need to pay attention to politics because you need to be aware of the BS that is going on. You know what I'm saying? Trump beats another trial, second trial in the Senate. First one is a dream trial for a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Basically, if I was charged with a crime, I want that trial that Trump got for the first impeachment because they weren't allowed to submit any evidence against him. That's a criminal's dream. You know what I'm saying? But only a rich, powerful white man can get away with that. Mm-hmm. And this trial, he beats it because they needed a third in order to convict him. And only, I think, maybe 7 senators that were Republican, they said, yeah, convict, and everybody else stood tall. But the reason why you have to pay attention is because they always talking this patriotic shit, right? About being a patriot, being loyal to the country, loving the country. You let a guy start a riot, right? Have all these people brainwashed, lying, storm the Capitol, kill a police officer. Goes
right? The eyes out.
One officer was killed that day. A guy lost, one of the officers lost an eye.
Brain damage.
Brain damage. One officer was brain damaged. Another officer lost some fingers, right? And you know what? No outrage from the police unions. But when Black Lives Matter is marching,
very true.
Black Lives Matter is marching, oh, look at all of this violence, look at this, and look at that, and look at that. The police need to be unleashed and all that. The police unions didn't say a word because they endorsed Trump. But that goes to show you that patriotism is racism to the Republican Party. And that's what it's about. That's why you have to pay attention to this, because when somebody starts talking patriotic to you, you go, that's bullshit, because you should have been yelling and screaming for Trump to be convicted, because what he did was unpatriotic. But pay attention, like I said, pay attention that the law enforcement unions, the FOP, the PBAs, none of them came forward and said anything about this outrage, and they lost a police officer that day.
Yep.
Let somebody of brown skin had to kill the police officer. They want the electric chair, they want the death penalty, they want all this. But Trump can have blood on his hands, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah. So and another thing, well, I don't want the media to let us forget that right now, 32 states, they really are trying to change the election process. So we got to keep our eyes on what's going on now. This is right. We should have filed this impeachment, but we need to follow how will they change voting in 32 states, and I think 160 districts. We got to watch that coming up next, and we need to make more vocal about that. What's going on next? So, yeah. But since it's let's juice it up, since we know it's Lovers Weekend, right? Do you gentlemen have anything special going on, or you want to talk about anything, brothers? Do y'all get the same gifts? Because to me, Valentine's Day it's basically a day for women to brag at the water cooler what their man did for them.
Yeah, man.
I think there's some truth to that. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, like me and my wife, we went out to dinner yesterday, right? And because the Valentine's Day was weekend was booked, but it wasn't that I was taking her out just specifically for Valentine's Day. You know, we go out to dinner all the time. Like me and my wife kind of have an understanding, like we don't really take Valentine's Day too serious because we're married, and plus, like our anniversary would be the celebration of our love day. You know what I'm saying? So, like to me, like, I mean, I don't think Valentine's Day is too big of a deal for me as a married couple. Like I said, we celebrate. Because the thing is, you got to look at it. I got to remember Mother's Day. I got to remember birthday. I got to remember anniversary. So, I mean, we take care of it with that. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, man.
I'm anti flowers. I think the flowers are just played out. No, I do. I think the flowers just a waste. It's just it's a big scam. To me, flowers at death and Valentine's Day are just a scam. It's just not really worth it. You know, now some people get into it, they like it. To me, there's really no justification for the day other than just marketing for money. That's what it is. So this is my stance on it. Getting somebody something for Valentine's Day does not prove that you love them more, and not getting something does not prove that, some people want to compensate. I think it's one of those things that people feel pressure to do because everybody's doing it. You can't be in a relationship with a woman and then not get her something for Valentine's Day because, like Dee just said, with the water cooler, it does look kind of foul. You know what I mean? But to me, that's just really window dressing as opposed to the person you really care about. You know, there's some people buy a bunch of stuff, but I mean, what is that really saying?
Hey, so let me ask you guys a question. But I don't want to cut you off, Derek. We're going to definitely get to you. I want to ask you guys a question. If you meet a girl in January and Valentine's Day is the next month, and y'all just started dating on and off, is she worthy of a Valentine's Day present?
No. Definitely, you got to get her.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely, you have to.
Well,
it has to be an acknowledgement of Valentine's Day. You don't just roll over it.
I'm under the impression that Valentine's Day is for somebody that you are involved with. I just started dating you. We haven't kind of established that we are involved. So, I mean, if we're just dating, like, I mean, should I get somebody a Valentine's Day?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So in your hypothetical, you're dating her. All right, so let's say you met.
I said I just started seeing her. You met her in January.
Right?
Yeah.
And you hang out with her weekly, right?
Sometimes some weeks no.
Okay, so now what do you do on Valentine's Day for that February? What do you do? 6 weeks into the friendship.
Whatever I would normally be doing. Whatever.
Oh, you don't even call her on Valentine's Day?
No, if I'm going to call, if that's the day I'm calling her, I call her and check on her. But the thing is, see, this is the thing about Valentine's Day. I think Valentine's Day is a slippery slope because I never had this conversation with my wife. if you go out with somebody on Valentine's Day or acknowledge Valentine's Day, I think it gives them the impression that you are exclusively involved with them. That's just my opinion.
No, it does. It does. But here's the thing. The question that you need to be asking. The question you need to be asking is how important that person is to you. Because here's my deal: Valentine's Day is not only for the person that you're dating. It's for your, people in your life that you love. Don't you love your family? Don't you love your mother? You know what I'm saying? Don't you love other people? So here's the thing: if I just been dating somebody for the last month or whatever,
That's a different type of love, though.
But it's still Valentine's Day, bro. So here's the thing. So if you just if you just dating somebody for the first month, you shouldn't feel any obligation to go out and instantly spend Valentine's Day if that's not real for you. You know what I'm saying now? Right. If you just dating, then it's not a real series. You probably dating other, you playing field or you playing around.
Correct. It puts you in a bad position. It's a slippery slope. Because
I get that.
Listen, if it becomes an issue ahead of time, what you can do is you say, listen, and you speak. If it comes up a conversation, Valentine's Day, say, listen, I spend Valentine's Day with my family, with my mother, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. If you feel like it's going to be an issue, y'all will spend Valentine's Day with my mother right now. You know what I mean? And just all my family.
If you tell a woman you spend Valentine's Day with your mother, she's cutting you off. Secondly,
listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Like, you could say your mom, you could say your family, you could say whoever. You got kids, you could say your kids, you could say whatever. But the important thing is that you acknowledge that the fact that it's Valentine's Day and chances are she feel the same way you feel. You know what I mean?
All right, can I ask you a hypothetical question? If you was doing a podcast with some guys and they was hypothetically fronting because their wives was watching, would you tell them? I'm just saying.
The thing is, I kind of some of the things that shout out to my pops right there.
He's actually in a relationship. All right.
But the thing is, that's a very wise man right there. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like I said, it's a slippery slope. Like if you just started seeing somebody, and I'm going to say, I don't know 100% agree with Derek. I do believe that it is for the romantic. It's a love day and all that stuff. But like I said, if you acknowledge that you're spending Valentine's Day with somebody and you guys are not exclusive, I think it sends a bad message to the woman because now she feels that this relationship is very serious and you may not feel that way. So I agree with you. I agree. Valentine's Day with people that
I've never had that problem.
But you got to acknowledge it though. All right, let me ask you this question, not to get off track. First time you go out, do you pay?
The first time when I go out with somebody, I pay.
Absolutely. But I'm saying, you just see, y'all. That's a contradiction, though.
That's not a contradiction.
All right, why do you pay? Why do you pay?
No, we're going out. You trying to fill them out. When you Valentine's Day, it's like you trying to I care for you, I love you. That's why you're giving Walgreens chocolates. You
gotta give something. No, you gotta do something.
That's it. Nah. Listen, I ain't doing that. Listen, to me, over 20. One thing what 2020 taught me was to love everybody every day and appreciate them, give them gifts all the time. I don't need that one day to specialize to give them a gift in the commercial part of it. Nah, fuck that bullshit. I'm not with that, man. So I give gifts on random days, and I'd rather give you a Valentine's Day on the 13th.
So check this out. So, you just meet the woman in January.
Tragic Day's the 15th. That's the 15th.
Oh, that's true.
Monday's lit. Mondays is lit.
You just meet the woman in January. You've been hanging out with her. Valentine's Day comes that year. You don't even call necessarily. You don't even acknowledge it necessarily.
No, I was asleep.
Have y'all heard this expression? Congratulations. You played yourself. The people that the woman has just been raving to her girlfriends like, yo, I just met this new guy, this, that, and the third. And this is the first benchmark.
That's
this is the first benchmark.
That's her.
That's her fault. Listen, everyone
I have dated. Do the single rose?
Kelvin, everyone I've dated, I've always told I do not do Valentine's Day.
And I respect that because that's like
I'm agreeing with D. It's not that I don't do Valentine's Day. I'm only doing Valentine's Day for somebody that I'm seeing exclusively. And that's the bottom line. I'm not going to make you think that you're my main thing.
Man. The important thing is to be honest, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So listen, man, since we're talking about that, man, anybody had any worst dates ever? And I got a zillion of them.
Oh yeah, I had worse dates.
Yeah, I think everybody's had
not too many. I had
Who want to go first?
I'm gonna tell you, I had a pretty bad one. I'm thinking about it right now. I had a bad one.
Remember, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. Yeah, man. I don't know. I should have known something was up, man. You know, from the beginning, just how we met. Like, she just popped out on me on the bus, was like, yeah, I saw you looking at me. I didn't know who she was. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, I saw you looking at me before, and we were talking, and I thought we saw each other from across the. I'm like, all right, but she was cute, so, and I was 20-something, so I was like, all right, well, you know, whatever. Anyway, we one thing leads to another. We decided we're gonna go out on a date. You know, she's a little cuckoo, I think, but you know, at this point, you know, you're 20-something, you're just trying to see what's up. I go out and I met up with my homeboy, man, and we went to City Island, matter of fact. Remember City Island? That's where you go, man. Back in the days, we went and had some got some seafood and everything. Met my homeboy and his girl, man, for dinner. You know what I mean? And the 51-year-old me, I wish I could tell 20-something-year-old me like what time it was, because you know because I would tell her she really had a hang up with, you know, she really had baby daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? That was the issue. So I went in, ordered we went to the dinner. She ordered the most expensive thing on there, like a big lobster. You know what I'm saying? Ate with her hands. You know what I'm saying? Torn it down, man. I only ate half of it. You know what I'm saying? And that part she ate with her hands like a damn. Yo, and I'm like, and then belched up the rest, like you know what I'm saying? My man and his woman is sitting there looking at her like, yo, my man, did he just bring this Snapdragon, man, to the thing? I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? It was the worst thing, and I was like, yo, I'm just looking at her like, we just like, okay, she was the most uncouth thing in the world, you know? And then later on, maybe a couple of weeks later or whatever, you know how you don't. I got a call like middle of the night, like, hey, it's me. I ain't gonna say her name, obviously, but hey, it's me, whatever. I'm like, that's the first time I ever hung up on a chick, man. You know what I mean? It was like, it was rude, man. And it was so crazy. So I think she was probably going over. She had a famous boyfriend or something who was supposed to father the child. So I figured out who it was, but obviously I'm not gonna say his name. But you know, but it was interesting. You know.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I got one. Long time ago. Long time ago, I met this lady, young lady, and we exchanged phone numbers. And you know how before you get together, like you talk on the phone and stuff like that, and you haven't gone out yet, but you keep, you just kicking it on the phone or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you know, I always kind of noticed on every phone call, she would always tell me how good her kids were. She had these 2 young sons, right? So, you know, I really wasn't paying that much attention to it, but I did pick up on it that she kept talking about these 2 kids. So we kind of arranged times where we were going to meet up and go out. So then, you know, we set a time, a date. I go to her house to pick her up. She tells me to come upstairs. She's not ready. Her cousin is supposed to be watching her kids, right? So I go upstairs. The kids are there. And yo, no joke. These kids was the baddest kids I ever seen in my life. There's no doubt these kids had warrants. And I know as soon as I went to work, I was going to check them for some warrants. But, you know, dude, she told me to sit, you know, she was making them something to eat. She told me to sit in the living room and that, you know, turn on the TV until she finished making them something to eat and her cousin come to watch them. So, you know, she said the remote is on top of the TV. I go to the top of the TV and the remote is stuck to the TV from pancake syrup. And I knew it was pancake syrup because the pancake syrup was on top of the TV. You know how you got a nasty pancake syrup with all the drippings down the side because nobody wipes it off? So now I pick up the remote. I got pancake syrup on my hand. I turn the TV on and, you know, I put it back down or whatever. And yo, the kids start jumping on the couch while I'm sitting in the living room. So now, you know, you had to try to strike up. You try to start small talk with the kids, like, yo, how y'all doing? Like, you know, what's your name or whatever. And one of the sons said, my name is Boogie. I said, that's not your name. He goes, no, my name is Boogie. And I said, no, what's your real name? And then I hear her yell from the kitchen, tell him, man, your real name. What's wrong with you? That's not your name. He goes, no, my name. And I mean, he going back and forth with his mom, telling her, no, my name Boogie. So then, you know, time goes by, she feeds them, they sitting in the kitchen eating or whatever. So she tells me to come in her room and she wants me to help her pick something out for her to wear for us to go out. Kid, I'm not making this up. I sit on the bed and you know how when you sit on something wet and then all of a sudden it starts coming to your pants and you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I sat in piss because the bed was wet.
Damn.
So then I jumped up and she said, what's the matter? I said, yo, I think my pants are wet. And she said, "Oh, I thought it was dry. I'm sorry." So I'm thinking it's piss from one of the little boys.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
it wasn't, but she said it wasn't piss. They had a leak.
Oh,
She had a leak in her apartment above the bed, and half the bed got wet. But pretty much she claimed that her cousin winds up calling us saying that, hey, she's not gonna come and watch the kids. So we hung out there, and then we hung in her room, and those kids kept banging on the door saying, "What you doing in there? What you doing in there?" And then I remember when I was leaving, one of the kids said to me, "Why you not spending the night like everybody else?"
That's classic.
Yeah,
That's classic.
that was my worst date. We
Oh,
never went out. And after that,
man.
I was like, but I started realizing, I said, maybe she don't go out because she can't get nobody to watch them badass little boys.
yeah.
Nah. How about you, Kelvin? Kelvin, any bad dates for you, brother?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the fault of the date. It was just racism that had made it a bad date. That's what it was. All right, so in '05, I bought this brand new Matador red Lexus, and it was an '06. So it was the first time I ever bought a car before the year came in. So, you know, I was trying to get fly. So I'm going on this date, and I'm going out in Lindenhurst, Long Island to this seafood spot, right? So I'm coming back, and I see that there's like an accident somewhere ahead. And I'm going really, really slow. I see these cops outside, and they're kind of directing traffic. I'm going as slow as I can. The next minute, a cop on foot tells me to stop. So I stop. He's like, "Pull over." I'm like, "For what?" I'm like, "What are you pulling me over?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because the road is blocked off." I'm like, "How am I supposed to know that?" He's like, "Everybody else knew it. License and registration." Pulls me over on a date. So now when you get pulled over on a date, at the end of the day, while he's writing the ticket, there's no real date conversation you could have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it's messed up.
Yeah.
Dude came back and gave me a ticket for failing to yield to emergency vehicle. And he's like, and I could have given you one for reckless driving. And so, needless to say, I felt like I was being targeted. It was foul. It killed the rest of the date. It messed me up. And so that was probably the second worst date story I had. I know it's not a lot to it, but all I'll just say is this: if you get pulled over on a date, the date ends at that moment because you trying to be a man, you trying to look whatever like that. Now you sitting there like you in detention, waiting for this dude to write a ticket while the date is there, and the date be looking at you like, so this what you be doing? Like you can't, you know. So that was it. So that was probably the second worst date I had. The other one was when the girl, I didn't know, I thought it was her real hair, and it turned out the girl had the same hair I had, and I didn't know that. And that's what she was wrong. That was foul.
Oh man, yo, listen, I had quite a few worst dates, but the one, you know, my story is always producer Jamie's always with me in most of these goddamn stories. So I just come up from school. We go to the first summer jam. I remember summer jam. Everybody used to go to summer jam, and it always rained. It was always on a Sunday, and it always fucking rained.
Yeah.
So Jamie and I, we get coming back from summer jam. We stuck in traffic. You know what you do? You start hollering at the girls in the cars, whatever. Boop de whoop. You start talking, right? So I met this chick from Harlem, and Jamie and I used to always go to Harlem and score big time. And my man and our man Tim. Harlem chicks love Queens dudes. I don't know what it is. They just love us, right? So I met the chick from Harlem. And we, you know, first thing, you don't call the chick the next day. Everybody, we know that's bro code. You don't call them the next day. You gotta wait a few days, right? You wait till like a Tuesday or Wednesday to hit them up. So we hit up, we play phone tag. She say, on Saturdays, I clean my house. So I figure, all right, she clean, sound like a clean chick. Like she gonna clean the house, you know, put the kids down. Like, all right, okay, she got a kid early. I'm like, I'm only like 23, 24 years old, something like that. I said, okay, now I'm looking at the clock like, damn, she's supposed to do brunch pass. She's still cleaning this house. Now it's getting towards dinner time. I'm like, damn, I'm kind of hungry. Let me see what shorty at. I hit her up. Go up. She said, yo, come, let's go uptown. Let's go to, no, we went to the Motown Cafe, I think it was. Remember that joint back in the day, the Motown Cafe?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Drove
in
to
Manhattan,
Harlem.
right?
In Manhattan, yep.
Yeah.
Drove up to Harlem. I think I had a little Dodge Shadow or something like that. I can't remember what kind of car I had, right? Drove up to Harlem, picked shorty up. We go to Motown. We have a good time, whatever. Then she said, yo, like, what you doing? Like, oh, get a little drink. So we can come back to my crib, come to Queens, you know. Chicks from Harlem and the Bronx. Love Queens because we got trees, we got grass, you know.
Yeah.
Picnics in our yard, you know. So we overcame. We heard the speeches back in the 60s. So, you know, so she come back to Queens whenever. We go down, you know, we about to have some adult relations, right? So I'm getting to the adult relation part. You know, you trying to do your smooth move, unsnap the bra from the back. Like, okay, I got that down, pat, got the bra, got the titties out, you know what I'm saying? Now, I get down to the pants area. I unrelease the pants. Jesus Christ. The odor that came out
Oh shit!
was
Yeah,
a
one of
combination of pot liquor.
Oh
Now, if you're
man!
from down south, it smelled like pot liquor and chitlins.
So basically, you unleashed a
The
pants full of tilapia.
Yes, boiled,
Wow, bad
Oh,
tilapia.
tilapia.
sitting in the sun, tilapia.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
And
First
what
of all,
I did, I had to roll the pants back up, right? Take them back up. And I said, oh, I know you having your period. She said, I don't have my period. I said, well, then, so then I said, well, you know what? I forgot. I go to church on Sundays. And everybody know me. I don't fuck with church, right? So I go to church on Sundays. The devil's in me. I don't think we rushing this. So now I had to rush I had to roll the pants up, get her back to, somebody said man from the Bronx. Yeah, that's true, right? So I had to get her back to Harlem. Now I'm driving fast as hell. I throw the change. Remember back in the day, there was no easy
It was
pass.
the bucket. It was the bucket you threw it in. Yeah.
I think I missed that shit. Threw it, boom. I'm on the sidewalk on 125th Street trying to rush her back in them damn buildings up there.
And it was no Uber back in the day.
Bro, no. She gave me the first version of heated seats. My seat was on fire from that thing.
Wow.
Man.
First of all, D, let me just say this. I'd like to thank all the sponsors that I just want to thank you. I appreciate it.
Yo, Kelvin, man, what's people's expectations with you being like, you're in the church, you're a reverend and everything. Like, what's the expectations with that, man?
Well, I expect they're gonna put me out now after the story, D. I just think
man.
No, let me stop. No, you know what it is. Dating as a Christian man or in the ministry is different. It's really, really different because I think you live kind of in this society, and there's some societal norms that are okay that may not be as far as the church is concerned. So, premarital sex and there's just certain things that you pretty much are supposed to be excluded from, and so people look at you different. The expectation is different. So oftentimes I don't tell people what I do until I get to know them, because if you tell them first, then you don't really get to know them. So it becomes this game of posturing and things like that. And so that's the difficult part about it. For instance, I've been at Christian schools where they don't allow dancing. And then, if you date somebody, this is what I've seen. I've seen the people that want to be with somebody who's in ministry, and that's what they want. That's what they're aiming for. And sometimes people want that, but they don't actually want you. They want what you do without understanding who you are. I remember there was a one of the R&B singers back in the day. They was like, what type of woman do you want? He said, well, not the ones that come to my concert, because they'll think I'll be singing all day. You know what I mean? And so what I've always wanted in some capacity was kind of relief from it. Sometimes, like, I dated a woman who was in ministry, and it was terrible, because you get on the phone when she was talking about scripture for 2 hours, and you like, it's just like, do you watch sports? Do you whatever like that? So we're just always inundated with it. So it's very, very different. So one time I was at I performed. No, I didn't perform a wedding. I was at a wedding, and the clergyman man, he did it. This pastor, he did the wedding, and afterwards the man is dancing with his wife during the couple's first dance, and I'm dancing with a lady I don't know, and she looks over. She's like, "Look at him. He a minister." And he's sitting there dancing. That don't make no sense. I'm sitting there like, right? And I'm sitting there, a minister, and dancing with her, and she don't even know it. But those are the things that you deal with. So that's what it is. It's a little different. But as I've gotten older, remember, I started in ministry when I was 16 years old. So as I've gotten older, I understand, a little bit more. But that's why people believe in being equally yoked. Somebody should know what you do. You know what I mean? Because if not, it's going to be a challenge for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, Calvin, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
If I'm out of line, you stop me.
Well, we could have talked about this earlier, but
Don't get nervous, Calvin.
You
see me grinning, you be like, yo, Roddy's gonna come.
All right.
Yo, all jokes aside, I'm not trying to be funny. Yo, do women in the church come on to you?
You know what? I've had experiences where women and yeah. I mean, people. I mean, it hasn't been like foul or out of order. Maybe, I've had 1 or 2 experiences where it was like it was a little out of order. But yeah, because what happens is there's not a lot of it's not many men in church as it relates to women. And then you have a lot of dudes in church. This was one of the things I dealt with church early on. You had a lot of dudes in church that didn't even necessarily like women, so that was different. So
like Darnell in the choir.
When you say like women, what do you mean?
I hate that he just said Darnell in the choir because it was a dude named Darnell in the choir.
There's always a Darnell in the choir.
And so in other words, and I'm not trying to diss nobody. I'm just saying I'm not on the canary yellow blazers, the wall notwithstanding. I'm not home yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on no glitter and rhinestone suits and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you won the Temptations or doing Billie Jean or something like that, you don't really need to own that stuff. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think some women have just like, hey, you're involved in ministry. I'm trying to be with someone who's at least a Christian, so this should be, conceivably the place to find that. So I've had women that. Now the problem is this: when people over spiritualize things, that's what everybody has to be careful of. When someone comes up to you and say, "God said that you're my husband," and all those different things like that, and I've had that experience before.
Yeah, and, I had that experience before too. Somebody told me that God led me, not to me, but to somebody else.
Yeah.
They led me to somebody else. I'm supposed to have their son. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you get things like that. So let me say this, and let me just say this. If you're interested in somebody, just be open and honest enough to say you're interested in somebody. Now,
we're human.
Let me say this. I truly can believe that the gentlemen, you guys that are married, I can believe that God brought this woman in your life, and I can believe that. I truly can believe that. What I'm saying is, don't try to use it as leverage to convince somebody. Because nobody had to do that. You and your wife came together, and it was going to come together. It was meant to be. But some people try to use it as leverage. Say, because I've seen people do stuff like that where they'll tell the person something. Well, listen, God said you're my husband, and I'm sitting there like, okay, but you go to the same barber I go to, and it just seems like
and God didn't tell you that. It didn't. They just told her.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So what now? I just got to be a prisoner of the moment, and I got to come with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Yeah.
So real quick before, since we're gonna have the doctor come on a little bit, and it's something interesting that came up recently this week. That the Dallas Mavericks owner, what's his name again? What's the guy named on the Mavericks? Mark Cuban. Got a brain fart. Mark Cuban said he doesn't want to play has not played the national anthem at the home games, and people start getting an uproar about it. So anybody have thoughts? I got a few thoughts real quick before we go to the doctor.
I think he's very in touch with what he perceives to be the needs of his players and Black people, and so-called minorities in this country and the injustice in this country. I get it. That being said, we you play. I think you got to play the national anthem, man. You know what I'm saying? I think you just have to. I think just from a business standpoint, you know what I mean? You have to do that because it doesn't do you any good if people stop or you start creating controversy around a situation. I don't think it does any of the players any good. I don't think it does any of their families any good. And, them being the symbols that they are in our community, I don't think that helps.
Here's my thing about that. If you win, they come no matter what. Because Marshawn Lynch has never stood up. Marshawn Lynch sits down, and they work more, but he could score, and they will win it in Seattle.
Yeah, so he's dope.
And he's dope. Yeah. The thing with that is like, and I noticed when Mark Cuban said it also, in foreign countries, the players play for the country when they play nationally, right? They play for the country. That's when the only time you hear the national anthem. They don't play the national anthem through a regular ass game. It makes no sense to play the national anthem. You don't play it. You don't play it at dinner. You don't play it. You don't play it at church.
Right.
Half the guys that believe in that, like Rodney said earlier, fake ass
Patriots. Fake Patriots.
They getting beer. They're taking a piss. They're getting hot dogs. They're getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? Some people are on their phone. So to me, it's why do we even have to play it? It doesn't make sense. If you're not playing a game to represent to represent the country in the Olympics, it makes absolutely no sense to play the national anthem again.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but with the NFL, the NFL didn't really start playing the national anthem with the players on the field. I can't remember what year it was. And the only reason they started doing it was because money because the armed forces was paying for advertisement to the NFL. And then the thing with Colin Kaepernick came about and also painted him as being non-patriotic or whatever. And like I said, racism is non-patriotic, and that's what they did. They did that. They slandered this guy. Yeah. And I don't know, last time I checked, him not standing for the national anthem, he's not in violation of the Constitution.
No, he's not at all.
No, he's not. So are you patriotic or is he patriotic? Which one is patriotic?
And you know what? It's a very good point. And not only that, the anthem used to be, before it was the Star Spangled Banner, it used to be America the Beautiful. That used to be. And I think at the end of the day, you cannot try to give something or assign value to something to somebody that doesn't feel it's inclusive of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, let's say because initially the NFL said this year they want to start game one with everybody singing the Black National Anthem. Now, you know that there's a large segment of the population that totally will not believe in that anthem. Right?
Correct.
Right, exactly. So is it plausible to think the way you feel about it, we feel about this?
Correct.
And so that's the, you know what I'm saying?
Calvin, you got a valid point. And the thing is, I'm going to build off of that. It's like when I used to work for the police department, you had guys on the police department thought it was the greatest job ever. How could you have a problem with this job, this and that? Your journey is not the same as my journey on this job. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, what I go through on this job is different from what you go through. Your skin is giving you privilege. I don't get the same privilege as you. So the thing is, you're right. You want me to respect what you respect when it's giving you a different outcome.
Exactly.